BodyBags, where horror lies.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm your Thursday guy for BodyBags, and this week I am doing Lisa Frankenstein. It was really meh. Meh. So the director was a female. Okay, it was a girl. It was a girl. Yeah. The writer was a girl. The writer wrote or was a part of writing Jennifer's Body. So there's that. Right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Whenever I think of like Frankenstein, I think of like an attempt to be an adaptation of Frankenstein. But this is not really that. I mean, I guess I'll give you like the beginning of it, basically. You start off with this girl whose mom got brutally murdered, and she saw the dead body, and now she lives. Her dad married someone else, and so now it's the parents and their daughter. The parents, their daughters. And she is a little psycho and a little strange too. Well, I guess if you watch the movie, you'd be like, yeah, she's kind of weird because she acts like this, but then she acts like this, but then acts like that, kind of thing. I guess a way of putting it. Sorry. I guess a way of putting it is how this and Poor Things are basically modern feminists' approach of Frankenstein, except I would say the difference between the two is that you can see the gray more in Lisa probably than Poor Things. I haven't seen Poor Things, and nor do I want to because of all the junk that I heard that's in it. So, alright, my bad. I'll just go back to what the movie is, or the beginning of it. So, there's this cemetery that's kind of abandoned, and, it's called Bachelor's Cemetery or whatever, and, all the dead bodies there are dead. Bachelors. Yeah, so, I guess continuing, right? She likes hanging out there, and there's this one that's like her favorite, and later that night, or sometimes she goes to this party, and she gets spiked up a little bit, and she kind of starts seeing things, but like, next thing you know, like, lightning hits that grave, and the guy comes back to life, and he can understand English, he understands this, he understands that. And he knows that, oh, she's over here, or whatever. So I'm gonna go and hide out at her place, kind of thing. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared, you're not supposed to be a thing. Oh, I was just kidding, I didn't really, actually love you, and blah, 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 right? But they end up basically hanging out the entire movie, and, maybe have a murder here and a murder there. So, I'm going to say what my favorite thing was, because there were some things I liked about it. But there's, I would say, probably more that I don't like about it. So, the thing I liked was that they used a lot of more silent film type things, or whatever. So, the moon with a face on it. I don't know what that's called, but I know that's like a silent film thing. And it has the rocket hits the eye or whatever. It's like that. And it's like a kind of thing. That was in the movie a bit, but I could see why people said this is a bit Tim Burton. I can see that. But I guess my thing is the negatives, and that's that there's no one in this movie you really like. The only person in this movie that I liked but by the end of the movie, not that I didn't like the character, but it's just whatever. Was the monster, Frankenstein. He really likes the girl, but the girl doesn't really like him. And he even knows that she doesn't like him. They're quite literally just friends. And, like, she goes on about, like, how she wants to give it up to someone. She wants to give it up to someone. Like, right to the monster, and the monster loves her. And it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, by the end of the movie, it's a happy ever after kind of thing. But, like, to tell me that this is, like, a romance the entire time, I think it's a joke. Because it's not really a romance until the last 5-10 minutes of the movie. But yeah, all the characters really sucked, whether it was because how they acted or who they were or, you know, things they do. It just really, that really bugged me. Like, when I go watch a movie, I'm usually sitting up, maybe leaning or whatever. But this one, like, in the last 20-30 minutes, I was like, I really didn't like it. There was only one funny scene, and it's not that it itself was funny, it's just how the scene played out. It was kind of funny, but not like, I'm gonna die laughing here soon. It was just like a kind of thing. I think there was some language in it, some gore. Honestly, not that much. Just a lot of sexual things talked about. Some, like, vibrator jokes and, you know, blah blah blah. And at the end of the movie, by the time it was the end of the movie, I was like, wait a minute. All right, I can see it being a fringe PG-13, but this is PG-13. Like, I think of Temple of Doom being PG-13, but, like, this is, like, what? This is, like, I don't know, man. I feel like when they were writing this movie, they had a lot of stuff in it, but, they wanted to get a PG-13, and they basically cut out almost all of it, but when it's all said and done, it's just really, just didn't really... You get my point. They wanted it PG-13, probably. So, should you go watch this movie? I would say no. Should your son, who's like 13, 14, go watch this movie? I would say no. Unless he's super mature. But this movie isn't really for mature people because it's a freaking joke the entire time. Basically. Oh, and I guess it's another thing that kind of sucks is that the last 20-30 minutes of the movie feels super rushed, and it's an hour and 40-minute movie, so it's like, really? Was there really supposed to be more? Or like an extra 10-15 minutes to this movie? Probably. It probably was a 2-hour, 30-minute movie that had a lot of extra junk in it, but, you know, they wanted to get it PG-13, so they cut it all down a bit. But yeah, I think the only thing that was, like, other than the stuff I talked about that I kind of liked about it was that, I forget the actor's name, but the dad from Stranger Things, Mike's dad in Stranger Things. He's the glasses and the 80s dad haircut, and he's always like, listen to your mom. He's like, he doesn't really do anything, he's just, hanging around. Same character, just, you know, a little, just different, because in Stranger Things, you see him quite literally every once in a while. In this, he's in the movie for, like, 30, 40-ish minutes or whatever, so it's like, it's the same thing kind of over and over again, and, like, when he does try to do stuff, it doesn't really feel like he's doing anything. It just feels like he's doing stuff. So, cool, I saw his face, but by the end of the movie, I was like, I wish I didn't. But yeah, is this something I'm gonna go watch again? Probably not. Is this a movie maybe, it's more suited probably for a younger couple, I guess. But then again, it's like, the movie showed, it at least showed me the negatives of feminism, right? Lisa Frankenstein basically being this girl who wants everything, who wants what she wants and doesn't really care about others' feelings until it's quite literally the elephant in a room. You quite literally need to put the elephant right up to her eyeball to see it, kind of thing. And it's just really, I don't know, I just did not like that. And I mean, I like it in the sense if people see that and start kind of viewing things in life a certain way, then, you know, different story. But if nothing's going to change out of this is not a movie I'm going to go watch again. I'm not even going to buy it. For the most part, if there's a movie I go watch in the theater, I try to buy it. I'm not buying this. I'm not giving them $20 or whatever, right? Should you? No. Should you check it out once? Sure. In the theater? No. Probably not, unless it's a date and you both understand that this movie shows you a really good form of, I say good form, a truer form of what feminism is, in which it can be a good thing, but overall, right now in society, it's not. And perhaps some would say that, that, you know, back then we had problems, or, like, we had, like, actual, like, misogynist problems. It's just that feminism was a really bad answer to that problem. Or at least looking back now, it seems to be a really bad thing because of, well, how life is now. I mean, think about it. Who gets drafted? Women can go and fight in the war, but, like, if a war started, all the guys are out, unless a woman put her, I forget what it's called. Set it up so that if a war happened, boom, you're there, kind of thing already. And no, it's not enlisting. I forget what it's called. I'm just, right now, I guess. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't really plan on seeing this movie ever again. Maybe, like, one time later on in life. But, like, other than that, I kind of wish I got my money back. But, hey, you know what? It's nice getting a different opinion and a different point of view. You know, it's not my point of view. Or at least that's how I guess, could view it in a more negative approach. But I guess the question is, how will people view that, right? Will they view it in a positive or negative approach? Because if it's a positive approach, then, like, you know, go watch it then. But yeah, I guess that's all I want to say about the movie. I'm Sam. I'm your thirsty guy for BodyBags. I did Lisa Frankenstein, and honestly, this is one of the first times I'm getting a newer movie, not in the dumpster, but I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 10. I did not like it, and it's like, movies in the past that I rated poorly because it's just not, you know, it's silly, it's stupid, blah blah blah, you know, it's this, but, you know, in a good way. This is that in a bad way. So, for example, I did Abominable, like, I did it a long time ago. I forget when. Abominable. That was that cheesy, like, 21, 22 movie. Soldiers basically fighting a Yeti, basically. And I gave that a lower rating, mainly because it was very silly, and it was very X, Y, and Z in a funny, bad way, right? So, I gave it like a 2 out of 10 or whatever, but in a good way. It's a weird way of putting it, I guess. But, like Troll 2, the old 80s or 90s movie Troll 2, that's like a 3 or a 2 out of 10, but it's a good 2/3 out of 10. This Lisa Frankenstein is a bad 4.5 out of 10. I would not recommend it, honestly. There are better things to go watch. I would rather go and watch Argyle, have a laugh, actually, like, enjoy it, or at least, you know, that's the idea. I'd rather go watch Beekeeper. I would rather, honestly, watch One Love, that movie about that singer a long time ago. I want to. I'm not gonna say it. I don't remember his name, but I'm pretty sure the movie is called One Love, and it's about this guy. But yeah, I'll see y'all next week.